Hello, it's Courtney with balancewithcourtney.com. I am passionate about helping others discover their happy and inspire them to make it a daily habit. My intention is to hack happy by interviewing experts to share their story and inspire others and create a happy movement. Today's happy expert is Flora Ware. Flora is a dream igniter, circle priestess, and sacred leadership mentor. She helps women hear their soul's voice, awaken the goddess within, and align their life and work with their unique feminine power. Flora is also a speaker, an author, and a certified sound healer. She lives with her wife and son in Vernon, BC, Canada. Welcome, Flora.
Thank you, Courtney. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. Would you share with everyone how you found your happy?
Sure. It's really quite easy. I stopped doing things that made me unhappy. Full stop.
Yeah.
So it was easy, but it wasn't necessarily quick, right?
Yes.
It's a process, I think, with that. Now, I will acknowledge that I'm blessed to be a naturally joyful and optimistic person. And I also want to acknowledge that anyone that is struggling with mental health or any kind of depressive tendencies it's not as easy for them. Right. But for myself, being neurotypical and having the privileges that I do and where I live, for the most part, I have been pretty happy. But I would say that I went through what I think people call the quarter life crisis, around 25. and it, in some ways it kind of lasted until my when I turned 30, my Saturn return, which is an astrology thing. It was about 5 or 6 years there where it was like, life's good, but I'm still not feeling fulfilled. And that for me is key, because happiness and my joy comes from feeling fulfilled on a deeper level.
Yeah.
And so I felt like I was still searching for something in that time where, and I kind of got into, I would catch myself, getting down on myself, giving myself a hard time. Like, life's good. Why can't you just be happy with what you've got? Right. Like feeling guilty for wanting more or wanting better. And it was right around when I turned 30, and something about that significant milestone. I'm 41 now, so that was over a decade ago, where I just a few things really clicked into place, that I realized the ways that I had been out of integrity with my own truth. The relationship that I'd been in, I had to really face the facts that we were incompatible in a lot of ways. And there was a lot of daily conflict in those, just even in those little frictions, just the daily, right? That I had to face the music, as they say. And I left him, met a wonderful woman. So it was a lot about, that time of coming out, really, and was also coming in to my truth. So I stopped doing a whole bunch of things that were making me unhappy, and the last decade has been extraordinary because of that.
So pretty much you followed your heart.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. One step at a time.
One step at a time. Yeah. And even when a few years later, I found myself in this awful job, and it was like, what am I doing? Again, where this is not who I am. This is not what I'm meant to be doing. And I had to take responsibility, and essentially I found my way out of that job. Right. And the thing was that I couldn't just quit tomorrow, because life, right?
Right.
Bills to pay,
Right.
getting things done. But once I made a plan to get out of there, and I only lasted 6 months, but for those some really terrible 6 months of my life.
Do you believe that when we start following our happy, is what I say, and we're doing something that doesn't bring us happy, it's like it gets easier because you're like, oh, I recognize this feeling. I don't like this feeling, so I'm going to do this.
Absolutely. I mean, you said it yourself. It really is a habit. And so habits are created from choices that we make.
Right.
Now, our choices that we make come from core beliefs about what we think we deserve. And so if we choose to, we're choosing all the time. So that's exactly it, that when you choose your truth, and when you choose to follow your heart, when you choose to follow your passions, whatever it is that lights you up, and you put your life on a certain trajectory and a certain path. And that's exactly right, that when if you follow, you find yourself in a new relationship and it's not quite lining up, or you find yourself in that job and you're I believe that it is quicker for us to recognize that, and for us to know, I'm not staying here, I'm moving on out.
Right. I've been here, done that. It does not turn out well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So will you define what happiness means to you?
Well, actually, I just heard this the other day, and I wish that I remembered who the wise person was that said this, because I think that at this point we want to maybe differentiate between happiness and joy. And the way that they described it is that happiness and sadness is like the weather. You can have good weather or you have bad weather. But joy is the sky. Joy is the atmosphere. And so for me, I believe joy is our birthright. Anyone that's spent any time with babies recognizes that. If they're fed and they have a clean diaper and they have, and they have touch, that's it, joy. We are naturally programmed for joy. And it's through our upbringing, our, the climate of our family of origin, society, different things that happen to us along the way that program us away from that joy. Right. So to define happiness, I know that in the way that you are meaning it, it's like true lasting happiness, which is joy. And, I suppose for me, I define that as our birthright, our innate ability to be joyful, and when we're just present, we're just being. And, we're not in the past worrying about what went wrong then. We're not worrying about the future. Most of the time, we can just be present in the moment. Everything's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where the magic is. You're so right about the word happy. It doesn't sing to everyone like it does to me. It's just a word. It's the feeling, the energy behind that word. And that's what it is. It's that feeling inside. To me, it's butterflies. It's like home. It's a balance feeling inside of me. And when I do any action, as long as I have that feeling, I know it's the right action for me. So you're right. It's the word happy means something different to everyone.
Yeah. And so, and you're describing a really physical sensation, which is wonderful. Right. And lots of us will have that. And some people are a little more, mental, like in their head, they'll sense it in a different way. But I think the same way. It's like a warmth inside. And for me, it's also just, I'm content. Content right now, right, with the way everything is. And that doesn't stop me from having ambitions, having dreams, having goals, right? Like that's the paradox that I think so many of us grapple with, because we want to be grateful for everything that is. We want to be, present and to want what we have, all of that, that thing. And so then how do we be grateful for what is and be completely content with this moment while still also saying, and I want to do that. I want more, or I want better. It's a real balance, because I think that we need both, right?
Right.
You don't always want to be striving for more, because then you're just always putting the pressure on yourself. And it's like, the jockeys on the horse, except you're the horse. So you're just the jockey and the horse with the riding crop on yourself. And, at least for many of us, women like you and I, especially that have those ambitions, the feeling of, well, if I'm just content and happy and grateful with everything that is right now, then I'm not motivated to create something different. So
Right.
there's real balance with both.
Oh, that's so true. So true. So how do you maintain your happy and make it a daily habit?
Oh, great question. So I'm all about rituals, as a witch, as a priestess. So rituals for me are the habits, right? The sacred self-care habits, I often call them. So journaling is a big one for me. I journal almost every day, and I have a number of different approaches to my journal writing. So I'm not always writing in my journal the same way. For example, some days I know that I need to reconnect to my gratitude, so I gratitude journal. Other days I'm a little bit more, got to get my manifesting mojo happening, so I'm journaling in a way that's visioning the future and manifesting that. And anyway, then there's a few other approaches to that, but journaling is a big one. Honestly, like, I think just without all of the the specifics or the tools or the practices, how I make happiness a daily habit is by spending at least 15 minutes by myself in solitude and in reflection every day. So whether it's journaling or it's a meditation, or I'm at my altar, or I'm doing EFT tapping. I love EFT tapping for really working through some stuff. Anyone that doesn't know what that is, check it out. Really cool modality. But really, like any modality, any tool, it's just I need at least 15 minutes, if not more. That's like the minimum with myself. It's often in the morning. I'm thankful that our 5-year-old, he often will sleep until 7:30. Now I know plenty of people watching will be like, 7:30, that's so early. But my wife gets up first. She's the real early bird. Then I kind of get up in the middle, and then I have my time to really set up my energy for the day, but hopefully before he wakes up. And I've also learned to be flexible, that if I sleep in, or if he wakes up early after he goes to school, because he's in kindergarten now, I can do it at 9 a.m. I can do it at 2 in the afternoon. Like, it doesn't have to be at the same time every day, but I need to check in with myself every day.
I love the word flexible you said, because I think a lot of our listeners here need to have a morning routine. You need to do this. You need to do this, like this thing that you do every single day. And the most important thing, I think, is just to take that time to check in with yourself and say, what do I need today? Do I want to journal? Do I want to go exercise? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? It's listening to your internal guidance and giving your body what it needs.
Yeah, absolutely. Because for me, that just would not work. Same practice, same time, same place every day. I'm not going to show up for that. Yeah.
And, that's how life works. If anyone has to go to a job, a desk job, it's, have lunch at the same time. This is this time, so the rest of your life, check in with yourself and ask yourself, what do I need at this time? That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, for any woman that's still bleeding, like, we're on a cycle throughout the month, right? And so, yeah, we need things all the time, different things at different time is what I meant to say.
Right.
And so even with my physical exercise, I love Zumba. Like, I'm big dancer, and since I can't, I'm not going to full moon outdoor raves anymore like I was 20 years ago. I go to Zumba, and I love dancing, but when I am on my moon time, I go to yoga instead. That's what my body needs more than the aerobic dance. So
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. So those days you wake up and you're just not feeling your happy self. We all have those days. How do you get back into alignment? What do you do for yourself?
yeah. Well, honestly, just this past winter, I actually went through a bit of a depressed stage. I will say, and again, acknowledging that, for me, that, that looks different for people who are, again, suffering from severe depression. But, Courtney, it's like, sometimes I give myself permission to be blue. Sometimes we just need to do that as well. I think for me, I know I guess I have a bit of a limit to that. And I remember talking to my wife and saying, I've been feeling a bit blue. I've been feeling a bit down. I've been feeling a bit like lack of clarity. And I was like, and it's been a week now, and like, enough is enough, because it was like, I've given myself that grace for a week. And that's why I want to acknowledge that I know some people struggle for much longer.
Right.
But for me, after I sense like, oh, this is going on a week. Oh, this is maybe going on 2 weeks. And also, I suppose, because I understood why it was happening. If I didn't understand why it was happening, I might be more quick to be like, okay, I need tapping, and I need a massage, and I need, a girls' night out and some wine to lift my spirits, or whatever it is. But I think we can give ourselves that. But to get back, well, I guess I just named some things: connection with friends, having that heart to heart with some of your best, your best friends, and also getting outside, for sure. For me, I mean, I'm a big earth mother, tree hugger type, and just taking yourself out anywhere, to your favorite park or a trail or a beach, and then just tuning in. For me, that will always get me back into the present moment, and realizing I'm okay. It's okay. This is all part of a cycle. Nature's a cycle. I'm in a cycle. What is full must become empty, and what is empty will become full again. So recognizing those, just those natural cycles helps me. Yeah.
Right. There's two things you said I loved. And number one is feeling your feelings. How many times does us women say, oh no, I can't feel like this today. I got to do this and this and this and this. And then you just stuff it down. And then you go into those times where you do feel depressed longer than a week, right? Because you have to recover. If we would just take that time to really say, what do I need once again? I'm just going to feel it. I'm going to, label my feelings. I'm going to tell my wife that I need some more me time, whatever it is, so you can really feel it. And there's so much magic in that. You find so many answers, and you're like, wow, if I wouldn't have taken that time to feel this feeling, then tomorrow I would have felt it even bigger and probably hurt someone's feelings or said something wrong, or, we're taking care of ourselves first. And that's so important. Yeah. And I loved the nature aspect. There's nothing that can get us out of our head faster than being in nature, because, it's this big, beautiful world that goes through all this turmoil, and still there's so much beauty out there, and it gets you out of all your problems,
Yes.
I mean, just even looking at the sun or looking at the ocean or whatever brings you joy. It just really wakes you up, what's important. So those are beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, because we're in our head in a lot, right? So when we can be outside and we're often moving, even if we're just taking a stroll, we're able to drop out of that worry, or whatever it is, and that's in our head, and be in our body. And that's why it's like, yeah, this is okay. And the journaling is a great option if you don't have a friend or a partner that, or if your partner is kind of already put in their time, and you're like, okay, I'm going to go, rant or vent on someone else. Some of us are more verbal processors, but the journaling can be a good alternative to that too, where you just dump it all out. That's exactly right. And feel it. Let yourself feel it. Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about journaling? Because I know you love to journal. Do you go back and read your journal, Or is it something that it's just like that day and then you move on?
I don't make I guess I don't really make a habit of it. Um, but I have, and I do sometimes. I yeah, it's an interesting question. I guess I don't write in my journal with the idea that, oh, one, like I am going to go back and read it necessarily. But when I do, because I have, obviously, I still have like I have my dear diaries from grade 2 in a box. So I have them all. I have every single journal. It's so hilarious. It's in a box, and it literally says Flora's time capsule on it. And those have been very enlightening and hilarious to reread. But more close, here, sometimes there has been, what was I, when was that? And I remember I was, working out something, or I'd kind of written, like I sometimes will flip back to try to find something specific. Because my journals can, like I said, sometimes one entry can be gratitude journaling, and one entry is like, a poem that I've written, and one is just like, my goals, and then another. So sometimes there is something that I'm wanting to find, but I do always find it very interesting, and especially if I've written in what oracle card I've pulled, or like a tarot or a rune, and with the hindsight going back, when was that? What? Oh,
yeah, definitely. So I guess it's the intention you put into it. What is your intention for reading past journals?
Yeah, I guess I wonder what that, I don't, like I said, I don't make a habit of it unless I have a reason to, because I haven't, maybe I haven't really known why I wanted to.
Yeah. I'm one of those people that I write it and I leave it. That's my way of getting it out, and it's gone. And then I either burn my journals or shred them or whatever. But
okay. Yeah. See, clearly I haven't done that. I do a lot of fire rituals too, where I will write, but I will never write that in my journal, because I write it on a different piece of paper and then I burn it. Yeah, I guess I do have a bit of a hoarding streak, I suppose. I love keeping those things, and like even all of those little journals, like they're precious to me now. They're like a piece of like 7-year-old me that I can look back at and be in my head. It's so wild.
I know. Oh, wow. So before we go today, do you have any little piece, any beautiful golden nugget for my listeners today on others that are maybe struggling to find their happy?
Yeah. Well, let's see what wants to come through. I think it really often is simpler than we try to make it out to be. And what if you're really trying to figure out what makes you happy, just start with the simple things, right? Your favorite food, your pet or a friend, your favorite sweater, and then you can build from there. I think often, especially nowadays, because so many of us it's like we're not just trying to find our happy, but we're trying to find our true purpose in life, and our path, and those are wonderful pursuits. But if you're feeling the kind of what's called, the divine discontent that I was explaining earlier, where it's like, in general, actually life is okay, it's pretty good, but you still are craving more. What you're really seeking is a deeper connection to your true self, and a deeper connection to life itself. So make sure you're not trying to make sure you're not searching for the surface thing. I know I sound such like a Scorpio here, because we always go right to the depths, but like go deeper. What are you really looking for? Meaning, fulfillment, true connection with the relationships in your life, all of your relationships. And those are the things that bring you lasting happiness.
Now I want to be quiet and just sit with that.
Yes, let's all take that in.
So true. All the answers are within, for sure. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
This was wonderful. It's going to be so inspiring and supportive for others. So thank you.
Yeah, lovely to have this conversation. It's a very important conversation, probably more important at this point in history than ever.
I don't know if amen's the word I'm looking for, but yes. Amen, sister. So, Flora, how do people get in touch with you, and what do you have going on in your life?
Yeah, well, my website is strengthandsoul.com. And that I think, you know, I have a free gift that I'd love to invite everyone to check out. It is an Awaken the Goddess Within journal guide. So it is some journal writing prompts that take you through an archetypal exploration, feminine archetypes. Archetypes are, you know, just the quickest definition, they're like behavioral patterns within us, and some of the most common ones that that many people have heard of are the maiden, mother, and crone. That's what's known as the triple goddess in terms of archetypes. So this journal guide takes you through some of that exploration, soul exploration through your journal writing. That's free. And there's also an accompanying meditation bundle with 5 audios. That's it's a $5 as an add-on that goes with it, but you can get the journal guide for free. And I'd love to offer that to anyone who wants to explore more of themselves through those modalities. Yeah.
And I have used it. I've done the journaling, and I did the quiz and went through the program with you, and I had so much fun. Oh my gosh, of course I'm all wild woman for sure.
Yeah.
But, oh, I had so much fun. So yes, everyone, please grab that and enjoy. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So strengthandsoul.com, best way
That's
to get,
right.
Okay, you got everything there. Wonderful.
Yeah. I can give you a direct link
if
you
perfect.
want a more direct link to that journal guide, but that's where to find me. And you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Those are 2 places that I mostly hang out on online.
Oh, perfect. Easy. Well, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Courtney. Yeah, really appreciate what you're sharing with everyone, and everything that you're inspiring women all over the place. It's wonderful to see.
One soul at a time, right?
Yes. One soul lit up all over the world.
Exactly. Please hang on so we can chat.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for taking time for us and for your growth. I hope you discovered new happy habits to support your happiness. Please reach out with questions, or if you need more support, at Happy Balance Facebook group or balancewithcourtney.com. If you need one-on-one inspiration, please book a happy call. Thank you, Flora.
Bye.